I love the ocean. I always loved the ocean from when I was a kid. Living in a dry, dusty, landlocked agricultural town, at least once a year our family would go on a beach vacation.
How far away is the beach from your house?
About 45 hours drive.
Quite a distance. Not like here at all.
Yes, here I can walk, and within 10 minutes I'm at the beach.
It is quite convenient. Please continue.
So, now that I can afford to, I try to go at least once a month.
How was your most recent ocean experience?
It was last month. I was sailing off the coast of Maine. See, I went diving at the Great Barrier Reef in August. I wanted to see the scenery, swimming in colder waters, going whale sighting, also the losses.
Of course.
Yeah, I had a great time. Swimming in the cold waters, enjoyed the northeastern seafood. I even saw a whole pot of whales. To cap it off, I decided to go sailing on a rental yacht for an entire day and night.
Sound like you had a good time.
That was when Lena hit.
Oh no.
It was incredibly frightening. 1 minute the sea was smooth as glass. The next, a storm rolled right over me. I felt like mad to try to bring the yacht home.
How do you get back?
I didn't.
Pardon?
The storm was too much. The entire yacht capsized. I had to swim away from it before it broke in half and I got caught up in the debris. I couldn't deploy the lifeboat. It was just me in my life jacket left at the mercy of the waves. I fought all night to keep my head above water. But I became more and more exhausted as the night wore on. Then I sunk.
What happened next?
I remember reading a novel about sailors in a storm. It describes the sensation of drowning, how serene and peaceful it can be. Yeah, now that I went through it, not so much. Holding my breath for as long as possible was complete agony. When I finally let go, a shock from all the water rushed in. I wanted to breathe, scream, throw up, anything at all. But I can't. Every breath I can't take left me more and more panic. This is it. The thing I love doing the most is going to kill me.
But you survived.
Thanks to sheer dumb luck. A sharpers just happened to be doing a patrol when the coast is spotted by a blowing carcass bombing the waves. If it were for that, I'd be a carcass. For real.
At least you're here.
Yeah, sure. Well, so much for beach bombing to relax. After that experience, I don't even want to drink water, let alone take a dip in a kiddie pool. Shame. It was my favorite place to wind down to. And you know the best part is?
Do tell.
I still haven't finished paying off the yacht yet, which is why I really need this writer's block to go away.
Perhaps we can draw inspiration from your previous works to come up with a new one? Tell me about your last.
Oh, City. See, it's about a crowded, dirty, and dilapidated megalopolis ruled by slave-holding sadistic nobles. In addition to the rampant violence, crime, corruption, disease, and starvation that go on every day, every month, thousands of people are selected at random by the nobility to be brutally and ritualistically tortured and killed.
Oh my.
But there's a reason to all this. There is an entity beyond that world that feeds off human misery or their souls. So the nobility had to choose. Sate the monster's need for unending, unyielding, unrelenting pain and suffering, or feast endless hunger for souls. Naturally, the nobility chose the former.
Dear God, how horrifying.
My novel takes place right in the middle of a revolt by the population against the nobility. Naturally, the people don't know about the being that is responsible for all the woes. I will spoil how it ends for you.
Thank you for that. Very considerate.
It's alright. I experienced many spoilers before. Not fun.
Quiet. Are all your stories like this? What about your previous novels?
Well, the novel before that, Effect, is about a benevolent god whose very essence controls his universe. He then gets infected by a deadly disease, and as he lies dying, his creation and the creatures living in it suffer from the resultant chaos and decay. Here is my all-time bestseller. It's about a lady that feeds off the life essence of all the men around her. But she's actually an alien from a dying race that needs to feed to survive. My very first novel, One, is about a young girl who will lose someone close to her every year for the rest of her life.
Right.
Doc, you see, the problem isn't the fact that I can't think of what to write next. I already have my next idea. It's about a small island tribe that draws oil through from the ocean. But man's die-off has caused not only a drastic decrease in the food supply, but also for the sea creatures to become much more desperate and aggressive. But because they don't have a choice, the fishermen continue to go out into the ocean to bring back food, even though less and less of them and the ships return. Hey, you already have a title for it. Ta. It's just that I can't put the words down. I simply don't feel like writing at all. When I sit down to work, nothing comes out.
Well, if it is an issue of motivation, perhaps you can use the people around you to motivate you to go back to writing. So I had to ask, when you write your books, who are they dedicated to?
Friends and family, particularly Jake.
And Jake is?
My little brother, what a guy. Nicest person, strong as an ox, super good ears, wicked smart too, despite being a jock. Loves reading as much as he loves motorbiking or hiking or skydiving.
Good. Maybe you should get together with your brother sometime. Use that experience to recharge your batteries, elevate your mood.
I could. Man, I miss him.
Oh.
Yeah, he died several years ago. Motorcycle accident.
I am so sorry.
Left behind a wife and 2 kids. Poor Mandy, poor John, poor Liv.
I see you are particularly close to your brother. Despite this immense loss, it could still serve as a means for reigniting your drive to write. To do it for him. But instead of dwelling on his tragic loss, which will only make things worse, let's go back in time. What is your fondest memory with him?
Christmas, we woke up and went downstairs. Beneath a small plastic tree were 2 giant toy guitars from this cartoon we used to watch. Can't remember the name now. But we were both huge fans of the show, and our mother and father knew it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was. Because he didn't spend what little money they had other kids.
Oh.
Like I said before, we never particularly had money. We always did squeal to say it made ends meet. But at least the 4 of us were happy that Christmas.
Good, we can work with that.
Unfortunately, it was ours to last. The next year was a drop. We almost went to the poorhouse because of that. The car years were so bad that we actually had to sell our tractor and most of our livestock just to get through to the next year. That Christmas, we were just grateful to be alive.
I see now.
What is it?
The cause of your writer's block. You've had a lot of trials and tribulations in your life, which I completely understand. Every day, you live in your difficult childhood, the loss of your brother, the stress of being a successful author, and more recently, your many failed relationships and your ailing parents. When all else falls apart, your one real solace will be to go to your favorite place. But with this latest near-death experience, the ocean's no longer a source of comfort and relaxation for you. So all the bad things in your life bottle up with no outlet. Then, you just gave up. You understand full well the importance of continuing to write and sell books, but try as you might, you can't do it because the stress and melancholy have driven you to complete fatigue and apathy.
I see.
Indeed. So, what I want you to do is go back as far as you need to and find the happiest moment in your life. Preferably one without anything negative attached to it. And seize hold of it. Use it to continue to drive you forward. You may no longer be able to enjoy your first love. Let's see if we can at least find something to replace it. Take your time.
I was climbing on a jungle gym. It was fun. I tried my hand at a pretty high rope bridge, especially for a small 5-year-old. So I was climbing on it like a spider, but then I slipped and fell hard.
I literally just talked about dwelling on the positive. Please, are we really going to do this again?
But it did hurt. Not one bit.
Go on.
I just looked at the clear blue sky. Jake was laughing at me, but he came over to pick me up. I did sprain my leg, but I didn't care. Jake didn't mind helping me walk towards the shoreline. The beach was beautiful. This was the first time I ever saw the ocean. I'm sure my parents took both of us there several times already since we were born, but this was the first trip I remember. Jake brought me out under a shady tree. There was an ice cream truck nearby. He wanted to get 2 goals for us, his trick. We were just sitting there, just the 2 of us, looking at the sunset as the waves rolled in, eating ice cream.
That's all the time we have for today. But this is a good place to end our session on. I'll see you next week then, Mr. J. Denizens of Cocoscope, welcome to my celebration. Thank you all very much for 500 views. I didn't expect to get this, especially considering the hiatus, but I'm very grateful. So as you seen earlier, I decided to start off my video with the random image story time. This is very similar to the 200 views celebration that happened earlier. Much in the same manner as last time, I used 10 random images and created a story out of it. Rather than doing the customary introduction, intermission, all that, I decided to just dive right in. So I hope everyone enjoyed the short little story. And now on to a brief showcase of the future programs coming to this channel. So as you can see, our first show is called The Plot Doctor. It's a show about a doctor analyzing plots from various movies and discerning whether they are in good health, I guess? Yeah, good health or not. So what you're seeing right now is both Lego and Mega Bloks. They gel quite together. And basically, I'm not sure in the future if I want this animated or not, or I'll be happy with just making it still images and such. But for now, it will mostly be static images of Legos and Mega Bloks in a medical setting where the doctor can go over the diagnosis of the various patients. The patients being movies, of course, so look forward to that. As for our next show, ta-da! As you can see for this beautifully handmade logo, it is called Gazer, and basically is an analysis of media and the possible applications to daily life. So for example, if I analyze something like Pacific Rim, I could talk about the viability of kaiju monsters and Jaegers. Or if I do, say, Equilibrium, I could talk about what kind of situation would create a world where all of humanity is just like, you know what, we don't need to feel happy, sad, angry, love ever again. And whether such a move would be a good idea or not. So basically, it's a point for discussion and analysis of the various concepts, ideas, situations, and the world building that each of these media present to us. Right now, I guess I want to explain about the logo that you're seeing. Okay, see in the middle, it looks like an eye. Yeah, the whole thing looks like an eye, and that's the point. But the eye is actually the back of a CD or DVD. If you ever flip a CD or DVD, look at the back of it. You see the various rainbow spectrum shininess as a light reflects off it. I don't know what that's called. And the eyelids are formed from two English letter V's. So I chose a DVD and the V to represent both traditional and digital media. Originally, I was gonna put like game consoles and books and all this stuff, throw everything into one picture, and it's like, man, that's too complicated. This is so much more simple and aesthetically pleasing. So it's the old and the new combined into one. Now that that's out of the way, on to the final show. But unlike Gazer and The Plot Doctor, this might be a long time coming. So this is like a super early teaser. And here it is. It is called Spectrum. I'm sure you all heard of Black Mirror, but I hope some of you are just as familiar or even slightly familiar with its predecessors, The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone. So to best explain the concept of these shows to anyone unfamiliar with them, I decided to just go to IMDb and read a brief synopsis for each of the shows. I guess I'll do this in chronological order. Starting with the granddaddy of them all, The Twilight Zone. Ordinary people find themselves in extraordinary, astounding situations, which they each try to solve in a remarkable manner. Moving on to The Outer Limits. Here we go, the synopsis. An anthology series of insightful science fiction tales. There we go. And last but not least, The Black Mirror. an anthology series exploring a twisted, high-tech multiverse where humanity's greatest innovations and darkest instincts collide. So basically, all these shows, to one capacity or another, is characterized by ordinary people being stuck in extraordinary circumstances, whether they're technological or supernatural. Spectrum is a similar idea, except with a more martial bent. You see a lot more things involving military, police, war, combat, and conflict. Because I'm inexperienced with digital animation, expect the show to come out much later than the first two shows we discussed earlier. Once I become more proficient with computer animation, then the first episode of Spectrum will be ready. Okay, now that we introduced the 3 shows, we're moving on to COCOCSCOPE's missing media. So our first piece of media is this video commemorating the September 2019 raid, so-called, on Area 51. It's just a fun little thing I whipped up, and I was hoping that the Area 51 thing will be an annual event where people can just show up from all over the world, be goofballs around military installation, and go home happy and healthy. But Rona, what are you gonna do? The next is this poem that I read out on Thanksgiving of 2019. It's a lovely little poem that's a really big hit on BitTube. It has like over 3,600 views, which is quite impressive. So those are the 2 videos missing from COCOCSCOPE. Now the reason for that is when I established my various channels, COCOCSCOPE was established much later than the other 2. So it was too late for me to upload the videos for those events. The raid already come and passed with nothing crazy happening, and it was already in December when I uploaded my first video. I wanted to re-upload when the opportunity presents itself, like a second raid on Area 51 the next Thanksgiving, but I never really had the chance. Rather than waiting for another date that I may miss again, I decided to just upload the videos right now before anything would prevent me from uploading in the future. So please stay tuned, COCOCSCOPers, and the catalog will be complete. With both of those out of the way, we are now in the end section. So on to my closing remarks. Thank you very much to one and all for coming. I look forward to delivering more entertainment to everyone. Especially coming up soon is my recreation of the YouTube celebration that went so poorly the last time. This time though will be a lot better. Of course, Sojourner and the Call of Duty Ghost project, that's also coming up. So please stay tuned on all the channels. Thank you everyone for coming, and God bless you all. Have a great day. Goodbye.